Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Samantha. Welcome to my home on Long Island, New York.
This summer, spend the hottest months of the year in style with Homeworthy as we visit the most extraordinary homes around the world. From the sun-soaked shores of the Hamptons to the classic beachfronts of Nantucket to the vibrant courtyards of Morocco, be sure to subscribe to Homeworthy's summer series to make every day feel like a vacation. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
My name is Samantha Jo. I am a Long Island-based interior designer, content creator, based out of East Setauket, New York. This home was built in 1973. The home was completely different, shag carpets, built-in planters with trees in the house, old 70s tile, and then during COVID, a flip company came in and completely built the home to look like a new build. So as soon as we walked in, the layout of the home gave me a Hamptons cottage feeling, and that's all I saw. I had a vision the second I walked through the door, even with high blue gloss kitchen cabinets, just bright white walls, and no character at all. So when we walked in, my husband, of course, he didn't see the vision right away, but I did, and I took him along each room, basically ready to give him an Excel sheet of how this can happen. So he still wasn't about it. And the home is actually in such a beautiful area. It's very Gilmore Girls, small, quaint town. And that was something that I was striving to find. And this little historic pocket comes with so much history, with the Culper Spiring nearby, and so much more, and local businesses, farmers markets, and this was everything that I really was envisioning when we were looking for homes. This is the most used room in the house. This is what we call the Nancy room, the Nancy Meyers-inspired room. This is my favorite because I think this really shows off my personality the most. Taking that old world meets modern elements, fusing them together, I feel like you get a collected, intentional look. My favorite thing is to layer books. I have books actually all around the house. That's something you'll notice. If there's an interior design book, I probably have it. If there's an art book, I probably have it. This is actually the best part of the house. So when we moved in, this is obviously where the TV goes, right? And we really wanted a fireplace. Every house on the street had a fireplace built into their ranches, and we didn't get one. And we were gonna have one custom built. And then my husband and I looked at each other and we're like, we don't even have a spot for our vinyls. Like, we are such big record people that we're like, it's time. Like, let's get a good home. And this was the spot. So we invested in a really nice piece, and inside we keep all of our records. I even have more over here, and we also keep some board games in here too, in our chest. So this was a really functional area for us. Rather than just building something out of aesthetic, this was a need for us. So we invested in an amazing record player, and instead of having speakers that are usually really big on the sides, I did some research and I found a speaker that works with this record player in particular, and it's such a flawless sound. And if someone was like really looking into getting into vinyl, I 100% recommend Audio-Technica and Andover. It's amazing. The sound is beautiful. It carries through the house. We dance in here. We will be up on the couches. We will be up on the furniture, having like a little house party. Over here, this is actually one of my favorite pieces of art. I found this at HomeGoods, and This was at Home Goods probably for like 4 months, and every time I'd go and I'd look at it and I felt like it was for me, but I kept ignoring it. And then one day I came into the store and it was on sale for like so much money off. So I'm telling you, it was such a steal and it was time. So she came home and she filled this space perfectly. And then we have over here my traditional artists that I love to collect. So I have a lot of Impressionism art throughout this area and more interior design books for sure. Over here you'll see we had just recently added bookends. I used to have a giant gallery wall with a corner oversized chair, and that was a big like fan favorite, but I needed a little more functionality. Being a home this size, not having a basement, we need as much storage as we can. So I felt, let's put some bookcases in, and my husband, when we moved in, actually was the one that was like, this would be a perfect spot to have bookends and like a nook. So instead of building a bench, it was still perfect for a sofa. And then we have all these deep drawers, which gave us more storage. So everything that I do when it comes to adding into this house, I'm always going to be adding intentional functionality. The house needs to have function more than anything. And it can still look good. So I have a funny story. When I had the vision for this space, I wanted a rolled arm English sofa. So I went on the hunt and I went out east on Long Island to Pottery Barn, and I took my husband's truck and I said, let's just wing it. Let's just see if I find something. And I actually found this sofa, and I got it for such a great price. And I'm like, okay, this is the day, I got to do it. But the only thing is, it was supposed to rain, and I was about an hour away from home. It was like a TV show. We got this thing into the truck, and on the way home, I had to cover it with saran wrap, all that, and out of nowhere I see saran wrap flying all over the place. I felt like a Griswold moment, but somehow we got it home in one piece and not damaged at all, but it was a really funny moment. This is also another favorite piece of mine. This is a French milking stool I actually sourced from France. The turned legs in the stool, you'll see a lot of these in brutalist homes. You'll see them in a lot of contemporary homes, Spanish style homes. They honestly work with a lot of styles. So this is something I definitely recommend if you're looking for a cute little stool, because I just feel like it has so much character, and I loved layering my books with my plant. Over here you'll see I have some hurricane candle sconces. That's actually a favorite of my husband's because he loves candles so much. And instead of having to do like a hardwire sconce, you get a candle. And speaking of sconces, this is actually a battery powered sconce. So you just take it off and you charge it, and there's a little remote and it turns it right on. So there was no wire needed for these bookends. The cafe curtains. This is one of my favorite romantic touches in the home. We have them in the kitchen, and the same person that I source these through is a small local family business in Europe. Every time I talk to the shop owner, he tells me that so many people love these cafe curtains from my review that there are so many orders coming in, and that just makes me so happy because you can get drapes like anywhere, honestly, but knowing that it supported a little family really made me happy. So something I definitely love that's in my house, and knowing like where it came from. A lot of over here is either a local business, pieces I did invest in, or a lot of vintage pieces. So this is one of my favorite things. I went on the hunt looking for the perfect botanical prints, and a lot has changed like throughout the last 3 years. I had usually one large piece, and it just didn't do it. This filled out the wall, and because of the vertical frame, it definitely adds height to the 8-foot ceilings. Over here was another Facebook Marketplace find, and I got this for like probably $25, and I just changed the hardware, and this is my favorite lamp, and it has a sister, and that's in the dining room, and I just changed the little shade to a pleated shade. You notice a lot of my color palette, I stick with the same like natural materials with creams and earthier tones. If I add some pattern play, I love adding stripes. Over here, another thing you'll notice in my house, I love wicker jute, any of that. So this little frame of my daughter is one of my favorites because it has the office in the back and she's playing chess. These little ducks. And in here, we have all of our little Polaroid pictures. So every time we take them, we always just put them in here so we can sit and look at them. More interior design books, of course. And then the comfiest sofa ever. It's a deep-seated sofa from Pottery Barn, and this was probably my favorite purchase in the house because I can honestly sleep on this. It's so good. So in the living room, we wanted a nice layout where it's functional. So when we have guests over, and I didn't want to hide this area with like a bigger sofa or 2 accent chairs. I wanted you to be able to walk in and still feel that inviting feeling. So I placed 2 of these ottomans, and my favorite part about them is the pleated skirt. I think they're so darling and charming, and honestly, this is timeless. It's so classic. These are just gonna grow with the house. This is actually a new add to the house, and we're all obsessed. I love how chunky, I love the contemporary feeling in here. This gives me like 1991, 1993 Architectural Digest, which I actually have a lot of the magazines from then. So this issue is actually from 1991. This is also one of my recent favorite finds, is this Ralph Lauren floor lamp. I was on the hunt for this for like a year, and one day I just walked in and boom, it was there. And she had to come home, and I love her. And it's silver, and if you notice in my house, I have a lot of brass. I'm more of a brass person. It's such a romantic feeling, but there is something about that classic feeling of like silver. So I definitely mix a lot, and I try to do it effortlessly because I like it. So now we're gonna head into the office, which is a room that's gone viral a few times on my home account. This is the office. So my husband and I both share this office, and I wanted it to feel like a mix of us. I wanted that masculine Ralph Lauren equestrian mixed old money kind of vibe, and honestly it just like happened. We have our little chase lounge. I have some cool stories about finds in here actually. So this was my favorite Facebook Marketplace find. I got this for $30. I remember this woman was just giving it away, and she was like, I just need to get rid of stuff and I'll take it for any price. And I was like, 30? And honestly, it works beautifully with the green paint color. This is Cardamom by Farrow & Ball in dead flat. It's such a rich green with brown undertones. So if you look, this kind of looks like tapestry. The green in the painting definitely pulls and works cohesively with the green on the walls beautifully. And the brass just pops. This was actually another Facebook Marketplace find. This old pine desk. It has a mix of woods. I've been wanting to definitely stain it darker, but I kind of love how lived in it looks. So I haven't touched it yet. This is the light that I really feel like grounds the space. I wanted to add a little modern in here so it wasn't too traditional, and the natural materials I really feel like add such a pop and that cozy feeling in here. This is a really fun story too, because my husband and I, for my birthday, I wanted to go to estate sales, and we found this old house out in wine country with a massive barn in the back, and they were just getting rid of anything in the house. This was hidden behind like decrepit mirrors. I just felt like it was something. I saw this little corner, and I was on the hunt for a painting like this for so long, and I got this for $10. It was wild. So if you see, I love horses. That's actually something about me. I grew up going to an island called Chincoteague Island, Virginia, and during the last week of July, which is actually coming up. They do a pony swim from the beach to the little historic town, and they swim in the harbor. It was really nice to add a lot of horse elements into this room because I love horses. If you see here, I'm always going to display accomplishments as well. My husband is a writer-director, and he just recently won some Best Picture and first-time directors in some festivals in Europe, so I'm so proud of him. And this is his director's chair. And this is one of my favorite things now because my daughter will sit up here while my husband's right here editing, and he loves shooting videos all the time, home videos, and he'll edit them. And he's just such a good storyteller, and he'll sit right here and she sits and watches him. So this is a really special, cozy room. This is a really cool story as well. I went onto Facebook Marketplace and I saw this woman selling another vase. So when I reached out to her, she actually said to me she was following me on social media and she had something for me that she felt like I would like and I can have it. It was so wild. So it was this vase and she just let me have it. And it was made for the office for this magnolia tree. And that was really funny. That was wild. I literally was trying to get it into the car and a garbage man came by and he helped me get it into the car. And then just like that, my neighbor brought it into the car. So it was perfect timing because this thing cannot move. Like if we ever sold the house, I'm pretty sure that this is coming with the house. And over here, we had an estate sale recently by my house, and it was outside, and it was about 10 different antique dealers, and I found this painting outside and it had no frame, nothing. The back is kind of ruined. They don't know the artist, but I scored this for $15 and it's absolutely stunning. The brushstroke, the color tones, the palette, it works beautifully in the office, and I actually had a frame that was meant for it. So good thing is never throw out frames or lampshades. This might be a small room, but it's like small and mighty because so much goes down in here. Even music, my husband will play the guitar and he'll sing with my daughter. And we just get cozy. Like I could sit right here on the Chase Lounge and my husband will be up there playing the guitar and my daughter just singing, and it's just really special to have the elements of each of us into this room. I always say my home, my personality definitely shines within my style because I mix. You get a lot of character in each room. So my living room, we always call like the Nancy room. That's the Nancy Meyers-inspired room, that Hamptons white sofa. My office is our little study that collected old world meets modern, Ralph Lauren. My kitchen is one of my favorites because it was a blue modern kitchen and we completely changed the vibe. We went full on English cottage, and that's probably my favorite thing because that gives me the same Nancy Meyers feeling, but it also gives me a timeless cozy feeling, and since the kitchen is our favorite place to like be in all the time. Next, we'll go to the kitchen. This is my cozy English cottage inspired kitchen. This is the room where the magic happens. This is where we dance. This is where we sing. This is where we cook amazing meals. My husband and I love to cook. I feel like he's like my perfect sous chef, and we'll have date nights and whip up something just by eye. Or we go into one of the cookbooks. I'm a big fan of having cookbooks on display, especially in the kitchen. It makes it feel more cozy and practical and functional. When we moved in, this whole kitchen was the exact same layout. We never gutted it. We wanted to do it financially smart. So we kept the bodies and we swapped out the doors, and we actually painted it because the color it came we weren't fond of, so then my husband painted it. And then there used to be two cabinets right here, and my millwork contractor, Jim, who's done my entire house, he's like my partner in crime. I have every vision detail that I want, and he's on board, and he just made it happen with these custom peg shelves. They're so divine. I want to put them into my laundry little closet because they're so sturdy and functional. We have our little mugs and our fruit baskets. The only thing that we had kept in this kitchen was the countertop, which we do plan on swapping out for an OG beveled creamier tone. So that's something to look out for and stay tuned. And then the best artwork in my house is on my refrigerator. The artist is my daughter, and I love a busy refrigerator. I feel like a lot of people tend to think I love everything in its space, but there is something about the refrigerator. She comes in here, she'll sit, and every day there's new artwork all the time. And her latest was her own little picture frame and this little letter for us that I love. She has her name everywhere. This was her recent project. And if you see, I have a lot of Long Island in here as well. So there's these paintings and these little magnets, and this was a painter from Long Island, and I got this at the Riboli Center, which back then was a bank, and there's also an artist, and the most gorgeous Long Island themed paintings. I have these little ornate little magnets with some tapestry inside, a favorite restaurant of ours nearby. And this is a fun fact about me. I love the Gilded Age. I nerd out. We can have a whole discussion about the Gilded Age, and I have the Breakers magnet on my refrigerator from my bachelorette party. We went there and it was amazing. And we also horseback rode on the beach. It was great. My horse actually was not broken, and we just sped off into the distance like a movie. I should have had a dress on, and we ran up the dunes. It was great. Like I said, the house was very modern. This entire kitchen had high gloss blue cabinetry and a silver backsplash. So we removed all the silver backsplash. We added shiplap, which honestly is such a timeless cottage aesthetic, and I don't think you ever have to worry about something like this going out. Every time we do anything with our house, if I'm going to add millwork, I'm going to add any like specific design, I have to choose something intentionally and timeless because I want to do it once. This was something that we recently added underneath to add a little more charm with some corbels, and I honestly feel like it completed that custom built-in feeling with this kitchen. And then another decision that I had to give more of that built-in look was to cover up the toe kick. This was inspired by Duval Kitchens. They have more of that English custom inspiration and aesthetic. And another thing I really love about white paint with custom, it gives me that kind of Titanic feeling. That's another part of me. I love the Titanic, and you'll see like little millwork decisions that I actually took from Titanic in small doses. When we moved in, we obviously didn't want to do a full kitchen reno because this was not long after the pandemic. So again, everything was cost efficient, but there's ways to hide as well. And we had invested in new appliances. My whole plan over here is to actually take this out and put some dish racks in to complete that English cottage look. And instead of getting a cabinet door to match to like go over the washer, we have a little magic trick. So I got this custom made on Etsy, and it's just a little dishwasher cover with a little pleated ticking stripe apron. One of my favorite views in the kitchen is how you can see the office from here and how cozy it looks with the Chase Lounge. A lot of people wonder where we do laundry in our cute little cozy small home, and we actually have a laundry closet. So in these doors, we made a cute little laundry cozy closet. And what's great is it's right here, the dryer. So I'll pick up everything and then I can go right onto the counter and fold. So it's actually super functional, to be honest. I love it there. And then you just hide it. So there was really no need for a laundry room. Originally in the listing photos, this room was another sitting room, and because our home is only a 1,600 square foot house, we don't need 2 living rooms for 3 of us. So this was actually the perfect size for a dining room. It's welcoming, especially the kitchen right here, so easy to host. And most of the time, we don't really even eat at the table. I mean, for dinner we will, but we love just kind of getting really cozy up over here, and we'll have dinner here. My favorite thing about the dining room is the old world meeting modern, but if you notice, there's a lot of Parisian doses, even some Americana mixed in there. This light was my dream light, and it's absolutely stunning. It's the most romantic lantern. It's such an impact piece, and I always say in the dining room, go big, go for the big mama, get the big light, and it's a conversation starter. People come in and go like, wow, like, and we just talk about the light. This is actually a teak indoor-outdoor table, but I loved that Cotswold field. So I tried to mix it with some of these vintage rush chairs, which was a really fun adventure we went to New Jersey for, and everybody loves these chairs. I have these ticking stripes, little seat covers on them. The dark walnut against like the lighter rush is beautiful against this Jake Arnold handmade jute. Over here, this was actually another Facebook Marketplace find. This woman redid the entire thing. I actually changed out the hardware to swan neck hardware. That's more my personality, and I love a romantic touch in anything. I feel like throughout the house, anything that you see is brass usually has a romantic intention. Again, this is the sister lamp from the living room, my favorite lamps, and more family photos. This is a picture of my daughter. It's my favorite picture actually of the backyard, of her looking out into the nature preserve. And then that's my husband and I. I have a friend that gave me this little plate. And this is funny. Everybody thinks this is real. Like I sourced this, and it's actually like super light. It said it came from Portugal, from Home Goods, but I don't know. It's not as vintage, but I love it there. Because we are on Long Island, another thing I like to do is add some coastal elements. So if you notice in the living room, a lot of that white sofa, you get a lot of that Hamptons feel, but I do like to add some of that, like these birds. I like to add a coastal anchor, my dinner bell. I'm not gonna ring it because it's gonna get really loud. Over here, you can see some of my ironstone collection displayed. And in the kitchen, I actually have a lot more on the shelves. When it came to our table, I was really on the fence of, do I go fully upholstered all around? Do I do a mix and match? But instead, I actually have these rolled back armchairs from Sixpenny. These are that upholstered classic pleated skirt, and I have them at the head. My dining chairs, I wanted them to pop. So we had the white at the ends and the dark walnut with the rush. It gives this a little more of a laid back, charming, still classic, but you get that Cotswold magic in there. In this room, the paint color was a really big intentional decision. I love cream paints. I love white paint. So throughout my house, there's actually so many different versions and varieties of white paint. And in here, I wanted to keep it still clean and classic because I know a lot of my moody touches would pop against it. So we had this cotton ball white on the inside, and on our board and batten, I did a nice linen white. So I matched the ceiling to the crown and the board and batten. And if you look at the millwork around the room, this was just recently added. We used to just have a board and batten wall right there. And then Jim came in and worked magic and gave us more of that custom look. When we moved in, there was a door, like a construction door, one of those like builder, there's no windows or anything. So when we added this custom door, and the hardware, the traditional hardware, I knew that this room needed more of that traditional vibe. Even over here, I actually have a Italian tapestry on display. So when you walk in through the front door, this is something that you see as soon as you walk in. But I'm in love with the millwork. He did such a beautiful job, like always. And he even made me a custom radiator cover. So we're gonna have those like built throughout the house. They give more of that custom feeling. That gives me the Titanic feeling that I love. This piece is so special. This was our first piece we ever bought for the house. And there was a woman leaving the state and she needed to get rid of it. This thing is solid wood. It is so heavy. So my husband and I gasped. We were like, we need this. And ever since, I'm like, this was made for our home and it's so beautiful. It definitely was not originally black, but I love the black against the linen white. And it displays all my things. And again, I love wicker, so you'll see a lot of chunky baskets around the house. This is my entryway. This is the first thing you see when you walk into my home. So I wanted to show a bit of a collected look, yet lived in, and showing off my family. So my favorite thing that we did on this table, I always keep it, regardless if I change anything, I always have my family photos here. This gives me inspiration from Mrs. Doubtfire and Beethoven, like the 90s family movies. They always had silver frames out. So that was very intentional. Another thing I love to do when because I love art, so I love to layer my art. I'll have an oversized piece, I'll throw in a few smaller pieces. Even if there's a mirror, I feel like it gives a lot of impact when you walk into the space. There's a lot of visual interest, and there's always going to be a candle. I have candles everywhere throughout my house. And this is actually one of my favorite finds. I sourced this through Etsy from Italy, and it's an Italian alabaster lamp. And when this came, it actually didn't work at first. And then recently I tinkered with it and it worked. So this is a pride and joy for me to be out here. This is another favorite find of mine, was this tapestry chair. Again, a lot of my inspiration for my design comes from 90s nostalgic movies. I love that contemporary feel, but anything that was like Mrs. Doubtfire, Beethoven, they always had a lot of tapestry. If you remember Mrs. Doubtfire's tapestry bag, that's basically me with pillows and chairs. So this was definitely one of my favorite finds, and I scored this from a woman for like $30 on Facebook Marketplace. It's a pride and joy. And then over here, you'll catch around the house, I have a lot of ironstone plates hanging on the walls. That gives me that Nancy Meyers Hamptons feeling. Again, the same 90s nostalgia. I love ironstone. I have a big collection of it, so you will definitely see them stacked or hanging on the walls. If you look above, when we moved in, we wanted to add some interest to the walls and the ceilings. So our ceilings are actually 8 foot. And I feel like a lot of people think that you have to have 9 or higher to add beams into your house, and you definitely don't. So adding the beams, the original plan, we wanted to do coffered. And then because there's this area of my home that now brings you into the bedrooms, we couldn't really do that. So I said, we still need the charm. And I love that English cottage Cotswold charm. So we carried through the beams into the living room. And if you can tell, a lot of that romantic style from the entryway carries through into the living room. What do I love most about my home? That it's us. I feel like when a lot of people think when you're decorating a home, you have to go with what's trending and you stick with what's coming out as like new items, all this all the time. But I feel like when you walk into our house, my favorite thing I always hear is, wow, this is Sammy, that's Sammy, and that's Billy, like that's my husband. And I just love that people see us within every single room. This is our little bunny's room, and it's so darling and so cute and so classic. She actually helped me pick out a lot of stuff in this room. She's gonna be 5, but she's definitely got an eye. She picked out this rug. This is a Bridgerton-inspired rug from Ruggable, and absolutely loves it. I don't think we're ever gonna get rid of it. Her cute little doll house from Magnolia with her little mice friends. And if you see, she has some more. We collect these little people. They're so cute. We have a bunch of them like around. One's in a bathtub right now. They're so cute. And then my daughter actually picked out this little thing, and we had this little mouse from a local shop, and he had a little umbrella. He's so cute, a little English chap. A lot of the pieces in this room, I wanted it to still feel childlike. I didn't want to design it and it just be like, oh, here's a little museum room that's really pretty. I wanted her to add her personality in here, and she loves pink and she loves princesses. So we have one of her little dresses over here, her little Rapunzel dress, and her little princess pillow. We're a big Disney family, so this is something you'll find that pops in this room. We have a collection of Minnie ears, Mickey ears from Disney World. So in the room, I really wanted to add that charming cottage feeling. So we have all of her bunnies. We have this beautiful oil painting pillow. And it has bunnies on there, of course. These are the cutest little frame pictures. This is from Petal Lane, and they're very lightweight, so if that ever fell, we're not worried. It's so light, but they have the cutest paintings on them. We added a little bookcase over here as well. My daughter is a big book kid, so we have some of her favorite books on display, and then we also have her own little bookshelf. And the books keep going, but we have a library bag as well that's usually over here that's full of books as we go through so many. And we wanted to make it functional in here as well. So a lot of toys and miscellaneous things go into these baskets, which keeps it nice and clean. But she is a kid, and this is also another favorite thing that I love. The room is designed, but it's still hers, and something that she has over here are stickers and her name Elizabeth from when she started school, her first little name tag. And that gives me like the 90s feelings when we were younger and we decorated our own room. So as much as it's classic and beautiful, I still wanted her to have her footprint in here. This is definitely a favorite. I got this little chair on Facebook Marketplace as well. It's so adorable. She always puts her stuffed animals on it, and I honestly think even when she outgrows it, it's something she's always going to have in her room to play with her stuffed animals. This was a vase I originally had in my console table, and my daughter loved it so much she begged for it to be in her room with flowers. So we brought them in here, and she likes to decorate again, so a lot of this was really all Ellie, my daughter. Something cute with her bedding. So this is her canopy, which gives her that princess feeling. We usually tuck it back over here, and you can't see, but we actually have a duck in there. So she looks at him and talks to him sometimes when she's reading a story, and we have this cute little light. So when we tuck the pillows to the side at night, she can sit and read her books. Again, she's a big book kid, so she's either doing a look and find or just skimming through books, even if she doesn't even know how to fully read it. If you notice in her bedroom, we have a lot of repetitive bunnies or floral. So I really wanted to put that together in here, as that's her main theme, where you have that princess vibe, but you have a lot of that girly touch, and adding the bunnies around and the floral definitely is her personality. And as you see, we have more bunnies and more floral. Her bedding is floral. We have this beautiful floral painting on her wall. This is my favorite painting in her room because the dark walnut frame pops beautifully against the white paint. And just like any 90s kid, she thinks she's a 90s kid, so we had to get the stars on the ceiling. Now let me take you to our latest project. So on the way to the latest project, which was our recent bathroom renovation, I do want to show our hallway. I love these oversized, contemporary framed pictures. This is Ellie, and this is my little family. I'm very big on having photos of your family around the house. That's what makes a house a home. Again, we have the millwork done by Jim, and we added romantic oval knobs in brass. So as you see, we still have that contemporary, mixed, classic, timeless little finishing touches within the hallway. All right, so this is my baby, my favorite project as of recently that we've done. I put so much thought into this bathroom. I wanted it to feel like, again, kind of how my bedroom has that hotel-esque feeling. I was inspired by the Plaza, the Marlton in New York City, and even the Grand Floridian in Disney World. But I also had to take that and put my own take on it. So there's some moody touches. So for a small space, we had to really think about every decision that went into this bathroom. I'm telling you, everything was such a crucial decision, as in just where our chair rail is gonna go to our picture rail. And because of the size, there used to be 2 sinks and we never used the second sink. So I decided to do a standalone vanity with a custom OG beveled countertop. This is actually a cream marble. This is what I would love in my kitchen. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's such a romantic tone in here. And again, you'll see brass. I love a pleated shade. And if you come over here, this is our little retreat. This is our freestanding tub. And another thing that we love in here was the mahogany toilet seat cover with the brass handle. This added such a refined look in the bathroom that it pops, and the mahogany made me want to add some more dark touches. So we have this gorgeous lantern above, and this Turkish runner that I sourced from Turkey, and this is probably my dream rug. I wish it was even bigger because I would love this somewhere else in the house. It's so gorgeous. And honestly, like, it might be small, but I just feel like it's small and mighty and grand, and we're never gonna have to redo it because it's timeless. I'm very proud of how this came out, and I absolutely love it. Home to me means more than what it looks like. I can decorate this entire house to my personality, my husband's taste, but I need it to feel lived in. I need it to feel intentional, not decorated. I need it to feel collected. And every little piece tells a story within our house. And when I get to show you around, you'll see so many little moments that I've had little stories to my little finds. And each room tells more of the memories between me and my family, us dancing in the living room, up on the couch, blasting like our records. And no matter what, I think a home is my family. And I think that's what makes it even more fun to decorate, because it's ours. Homeworthy, it's been great. Thank you for coming, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.